Night of the Horrified presents Fresh Popcorn.
So I like Thomas Jane. I like Jay Moore. Sean Patrick Flanery, he's aight. And werewolves? Sure, sign me up. A sheriff makes a strange discovery when he's called to an orchard where 3 teenage sisters have been attacked by a band of delinquents. All right, first off, don't go into this thinking it's the next Howling or American Werewolf in London. Hunter's Moon starts out almost like a melodrama. We have some family tension, some local delinquents roughing up people and attempting to steal candy bars, and some fine quality Jay Moore acting for about 4 seconds. All in all, if this film wasn't heavily advertised as a werewolf movie, I'd figure I was watching a small town drama about a home invasion unfold. I think the advertising was a mistake. If they would have let the horror elements be a surprise, I think this movie would have been a lot better. The actors do a decent job of making things interesting, but they are all kind of quickly overshadowed by Thomas Jane for about 4 seconds. And Jane has always had my sympathy. I love his work. He's a fantastic actor and really excels when they give him something to do. His films have all been hit or miss, however. The misses are worse because you know he's good, but whoever made the film underutilizes his talents. I'm looking at you, Predator. Thomas Jane needs more leading roles, so I was excited for this film, because if you watch the trailer, it looks like he's the leading man. I was wrong. And I was kind of worried here, because Thomas Jane doesn't get much screen time until about 40 minutes in, which is a goddamn shame. You'll find yourself nearly losing interest. Then Jane shows up and the movie picks back up again. But he doesn't really do much. Fuck, I was disappointed. Well, okay, he does things, but it isn't what you're expecting going into this film. This film kind of drags ass as well, and that's the flaw here. The movie takes too long to get going. I appreciate the fact that the director wanted to create an atmosphere and a legitimately good story, but you can have all those things, including horror, if you wanted to. It's just my opinion, but it feels like they wanted a From Dusk Till Dawn type of progression, and it doesn't quite work out here. The humor is also here, but it kind of lands with a thud most of the time. Plus, fuck, where are my werewolves? Okay. I'll stop myself for a second. I'm being a little overdramatic. We do have werewolves, and they look pretty good for about 4 seconds. It sounds like I'm hating on this film, but really, I'm just slightly disappointed. The acting is okay, the cinematography is gorgeous, the story is slightly unjointed, but a lot of things in the first half really pay off when we get to the end. It's an interesting flick, with a twist ending that's kind of reminiscent of Tales from the Crypt. In fact, this really could have been a Tales from the Crypt episode, and it would have been much better. The fatal flaw is how terribly this movie was advertised, honestly. It's a bait and switch that kind of left me a little insulted. I'm usually very vague when it comes to plot points with these, but I gotta warn you, Hunter's Moon is not Thomas Jane versus werewolves. It's barely people versus werewolves. But give it a try and see for yourself. What it does well. And all in all, after a couple of viewings, I found it has some charms and helps separate it from other films. Basically, if you pick up Hunter's Moon, set your bar low, because it's almost a batch of fresh popcorn. Hunter's Moon, available on physical media and VOD today. Thank you. I'm Lee Evans for Night of the Horror File, and this has been Fresh Popcorn. If you want your project featured on Fresh Popcorn, drop us a line on Twitter or through email at horrorfilemailbag@gmail.com.